Here it is. This is Alvarez and Sella for Spain, who are another club entry. They're in the lead, and they're leading from Villa and Tejero, one of the national team in the blue and green kayak. Then you've got Rodriguez and Parga in the red kayak, and right close up on their bow wash you've got Hernandez and Rodriguez for Spain yet again. The Austrians just behind, and the British pair beginning to tuck in nicely, also trying to get a ride along.
Yeah, they've just gone on to the Austrians' wash, so they'll be quite happy there. It's not the best position in that group, but it's an adequate position.
And there looks to be even a seventh kayak beginning to come on the group. But here's the train that's brought the people some 10 kilometers down from the start at Ondas, and it'll stop in a minute and they'll pour out and across the fields, Martin.
Absolutely. It must be the longest train in the world, this actually, because they put on so many coaches and they just hang everywhere. It's absolutely pandemonium on that coach.
Well, now you can see that leading group, which has got closer, I should say, the second group, which is closing all time on the leaders. It's 6 both, but it looks to me as if it's going to be 7 in a minute, and it might well be the boat, I think, is 136 that we're looking out for there, which is the Martinez brothers. A sort of yellow kayak again with yellowish tops, and I think that is them. And now the British pair just going wide, Martin.
Well, it seems to me they're struggling a bit, really. They're not comfortably on the backwash, and they're going out to the side to run down the side wash, but they're not comfortable, that's for sure.
Well, this is the Villaverdes, the two brothers, and brothers often make good paddlers together.
Well, it's the empathy, isn't it? It's that they get on well together, or sometimes they do, and they always talk about it together. Knowing your partner is very important in pairs racing. The British boat are back on the wash now. Just touching the others.
A little too close.
Well, there'll be a few words there, I should think.
But that's a good effort. I mean, the British have won this race a couple of times, back in 1978 and 1980.
Yes, it's true to say that the British long distance or marathon community take this race quite seriously, and there's always 2 or 3 crews who actually have a go at it every year.
But the second group now, and you can see we've definitely got 7 kayaks together, and they're chasing hard on the leader. But look at that, that's a lovely view, lovely green countryside, and it must be a joy to paddle down this river.
It really is, actually. It is a magnificent river.
So you don't come here and just do this one race, you enjoy the whole of the region.
Well, you do, but this race is more important than the others put together, quite frankly.
And this is the rapid, Martin.
Yes, it's a very narrow entrance, and you're coming, you see the standing waves in the middle there. Most of the deep water will be there, but there'll be a few rocks which you have to negotiate around. You smash your boat on one of those rocks, that could be at the end of your race. The last crew just goes between 2 rocks quite safely. They'll be relieved by that.
And obviously a chance there, if you're in the lead, to accelerate away. You could see the Austrians really put on some power to stay with that group, because it's not really the right place for heroics.
Well, exactly. Well, if you go into the rapid first and you find that the fourth boat is 4 or 5 lengths back, it's an opportunity to perhaps lose them. So anybody with any sense would actually accelerate out of the rapid in the lead to see if you've lost the last boat, but not so this time. They're all back together again, so the pressure comes off again. Over small shallows here. These are just as treacherous, because on small shallows you can run aground. And if you run aground, of course, you've got to get out of your boat and start again.
Well, a hesitation there by the Martinez brothers. It almost looked as if they were going to take the river left route there, but then switch back because they can see that the power is being applied here. The 2 leaders, Roman and Fernandez, just put on a little burst there, and it did accelerate and tried to break 1 or 2.
Exactly, it will happen all the way down. As soon as anybody's off the back, they'll just put in a dozen strokes just to see if they're going to lose them. If they look strong and come back, they'll just ease off.
Here are the 4 coming down to the 5-kilometer point. And 113 in the lead, Herodor and Rodriguez. Just behind them, the Austrians. And on the far side there, you've got Roman and Fernandez, who've led for so much of this race. And the spectators now will be taken down in that train to the finish to join a massive crowd on the bridge. So still 3 Spaniards and 1 Austrian crew contesting this lead, looking for this very special honour to win the descent of Riva de Sella.
I won't allow the chasing group to catch up now. It's It's too dangerous for them. They wouldn't want to have somebody else in with a sprint finish, so they'll all work to keep that chasing group at bay. Yes, and it looks as though one crew's hanging off the back there, and they've actually broken one of the boats, it seems to me, going through these shallows, because it's very, very difficult paddling through shallows, and there's lots of drag, and if you're a little tired, if all of a sudden you can just tell, and you just can't hang on to that wash, and they've gone off the back.
Well, in fact, it's the Austrians who've disappeared off the back there, and Roman and Hernandez will probably be aware of that. And yeah, you can see there just a little look round just to see what's happening.
Yes, they'll take it on actually. The Austrians might be a bit heavy, and the shallow water just told on them. They had more drag on the boat, and they just couldn't hang on to the group, and it looks as though they've gone. So these three will be happy with that. If they can hold the Austrians off, it means that all three of them will be on the podium.
Well, here's a shot of the second group. It's Great Britain, or England I should say, in the lead there. Ted Heath and Jimmy Smythe, and they're just ahead of that blue and green kayak. But here are the leading group of four, and the Austrians, in fact, who did drop off the back, as you suggested, Martin. Maybe they were finding the water difficult to handle, but they're almost back in contention. British performances we've had for a while as well. Yes,
the Zimbabweans look strong. Good British effort. They were up there in the chasing group at one point. Good effort.
So Zimbabwe take 5th place and Great Britain are 6th. But here's a look at the finish again, and you can see there Roman and Hernandez going through to take the lead, and it's Herodor and Rodriguez who grab 2nd place ahead of the Martinez brothers, with the Austrians Winkler and Pock in 4th place, and just 3 seconds covering the first 4, with the Zimbabwean and British efforts just almost a minute off the other 2. Well, a tremendous race here on the Sella. Once again, another close finish and a tremendous celebration this evening by all those leading paddlers. Coming in now, the man who we saw earlier on, Juan Ramon Gonzalez. He's still got a clear lead over Mike Smith of England, and he wins the individual kayak test. He hasn't actually crossed the line, but he will float across in a moment. And if I look out to the clock to our right, I can see that in fact his time is just about 28 seconds quicker than last year, and there's confirmation that Alvarez of Spain wins the individual K1 class. He's a minute clear of Mike Ellis, with Butler of Great Britain making it a very successful day for the English paddlers. But now the moment that all the winners look forward to and relish. Here are Roman and Fernandez receiving Asturian hats and the gold medals, their names soon to be added to the roll of honour on the bridge, which is just to our right. In 2nd place, collecting the silver medals, the pair of Herodor and Rodriguez, who chased them, were just a second down at the finish, and this will also be a day for them to remember. Spare a thought for the Austrians, who just didn't quite make the podium, and the result of that meaning that the 3rd place crew are the Martinez brothers, just to our right, waiting to receive their medals. So a 1-2-3 for Spain in the 54th descent of the River Sella. What a fantastic race, but for now, from Martin Boscher, myself, David Goldstrom, thanks for your company. The party's about to begin. Goodbye from Riva de Sella.
Go, 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 go.